In this video, I want to talk about optimizing AI content to improve your chances of ranking on Google. What we know now is that Google has published their stance on AI content, saying that it's no longer considered spam and they really don't even care how you create your content. What they care about is the finished product and that it's quality content for the users. A lot of people are under the impression that quality means the skill of the writing, and that's really not the case. Basically, the Google algorithm is a mathematical algorithm, and it's looking for certain factors that you're touching all those bases before you can get a home run. And so when we look at a piece of AI content that is produced, whether it's produced with ChatGPT or Jasper or the one-click blog post like Surfer, which I'm going to show you today, or Write Sonic, it doesn't matter how those are created. After they're created, it's very important that we go in and take chunks of the text and look at, does it need to be expanded upon? Do we need to give examples? Should we be including an external authoritative link that would be a good research for that user? Do we need to put in a scenario or some other type of story? Do we need to put in a list or a table or a side-by-side comparison? Just the simple writing isn't going to be quality if it's just the same as everybody else's and there isn't anything especially helpful there. So that's one thing. And the other thing, which I'm just going to keep saying on every video because I really want to drill this home, you have to become a topical authority to rank for anything that's competitive. So when I'm talking about a topical authority, I'm talking about taking a broad topic and covering all the subtopics, right? That's a topical cluster. We used to call it or called silos, where you have kind of one pillar post and all of the cluster pages link back up to that pillar post or skyscraper, whatever you want to call it. The hub and spoke model, one main piece of content that points out to all of the other ones, right? That kind of a thing. But basically what we're looking at is covering all of those subtopics. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So what we'll do is we will just go ahead and go over to my desktop and I'm going to put myself back on the screen. I'll try to remember to move that bubble around if it starts covering anything. Okay, now what we're going to look at here, this is an example of a topic cluster. So whenever I am going to create content now, I haven't always done this, but I've learned the hard way, right? By blogging and having things not get anywhere. And then I look at things and go, oh, let's go look at this topic cluster. So a topic cluster would be something like this. My topic I'm looking at is blog content. Okay. So I want to rank for blog content. So I come in here and I go to Surfer SEO's keyword research tool. You can use whatever tool you want. This is just as an example. This is a tool that I pay for. And I did put a list of all the tools that I'm using in the description box below. Blog content. We come down here and we look at these things. Each of these boxes is basically Surfer SEO is saying it should be its own blog post. So we should write one blog post all about blog post ideas. Okay. Now, if I click on that, you can see here blog post ideas. It doesn't have to be blogging post ideas. That doesn't even sound right. But if I look at this blog post ideas, 1,300 monthly searches, estimated, all these tools are estimated. And it's not super competitive. So blog post ideas, according to Surfer SEO, could be something I could rank for. So I'm going to do all this before I even get to my AI content. When I say optimization, this is still optimization. You've got to optimize your topics so that you're creating the right topics you can actually rank for. Now, to piggyback on this, I have another tool that I use called SEMrush. And I like to check both tools for the keyword difficulty and search volume because all tools are estimates, just kind of one extra little thing. I'm already paying for both tools. Let me go look at it. I personally like SEMrush better for the keyword volume and the other data. So I'll show you what I mean. So I go here and I put in blog post ideas. Okay, so I'm going to type this in, blog post ideas. You know, let me just do it this way. I'm going to just click right here on the home page. It's easier for me. And I'm going to go to blog post ideas. And I'm going to click search. Okay. Now I'm going to click on all these variations here and take a look at what it says. So blog post ideas, it says about the same, 1,300 monthly search volume, but it's showing a little bit more competitiveness. Okay. So that might be a little more challenging. I always tell everybody, if you have a blog that doesn't have a lot of topical authority, it's got a low domain authority score, you're sitting around below 30, you're probably going to want to go after these yellow, orange, and green ones rather than the red. Okay. These are all best practices. But I do see this one, which is interesting, blog post ideas for beginners. So what I tend to do is if I see a hot topic that looks too competitive, I'll find the long tail version, which is what we call this. That long tail makes it more targeted for a specific audience. So blog post ideas could be for anybody, but blog post ideas for beginners kind of changes that topic. Search volume drops down. That's okay. Still going to get traffic. Competition drops down, even better, right? And that could be more targeted. Okay, that's something I might go after. Now I'm looking over here to see if that's coming up anywhere. It may come up on this cluster somewhere. I haven't checked yet. But what I might still play around with this to find the best opportunity in this topic cluster to start with. So how to promote your blog is another one. And I'm going to show you in a second how I take this target keyword, put it into Surfer SEO, and let it write the blog for me. But then I'm going to show you how to optimize it for SEO. Okay, so this is kind of a master class for you today. So how to promote your blog, I'm going to look at that one. Okay, now we can sort this actually by lowest competition. So I'm going to go difficulty low to high. Okay, blog outlines, perfect example. Blog outlines, 320, lower keyword difficulty. So I have already done this one on my Surfer SEO. But if I haven't already, I'm going to go start with that one because here's what we have. We have a topic cluster all about blog content, and Surfer's saying we need to write each one of these blogs. So blog outlines, content pillars, how long should a blog be, how to start a lifestyle blogging, how to get to the first ranking on the first page of Google, how to get sponsored or sponsorship posts, some version of that. Okay, these don't have to be exact in their keyword phrases. It's ideal that we target a keyword phrase like sponsorship post, but we can expand on that title. So there's 6. Blogging for business, that's a separate one. That's 7. Short form versus long form content, that's 8. How often should I blog? Yep, that's different than how long. That's 9. Okay, and then it keeps going. So what I do is I look at all this and I say, okay, that's a topic cluster. Let me go ahead and order all the content for that cluster. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm buying these AI art you can buy these little packages of these articles. So they're like $29 a piece. You'll get them back the same day. If you buy in larger packages, the price gets a little bit smaller. I think all the way down to like $25 an article. Now, even at these articles, by the way, are several thousand words long, most of them. So where's my calculator? Because I don't like doing math in my head. So if I look at this, when I was hiring regular writers, I was paying, let's just say 5 cents a word. Sometimes I paid much more and sometimes it was less, but about 5 cents a word. So if I had a 3,000 word article and I'm paying 5 cents a word, of course, we're paying $150. So I'm getting a 3,000 word article for as low as $25 or $26, whatever it was. At the highest point was $29 compared to $150. For me, is that worth it? All day long. But why? Let me tell you why even more it's worth it. And I'm going to show you in a second. Is because it also knows the SEO part of it. So it knows how many words to create, how many paragraphs to create, how the NLP keywords, the headings to put in there, to put in an FAQ without you telling it. So you don't have to give it a standard SOP, standard operating procedure, or a content brief or anything, because the system does it, which is why I chose Surfer over some of the other tools. Because I was already using Surfer for the on-page optimization scoring system. And when they rolled out the AI, I said, let me test that. And that's what we're doing now. My first one just hit Google yesterday, started getting some traffic. I saw a couple more today. So it's a fun experiment anyway to be producing with purely AI content, but I'm not just publishing it purely AI, and I'll show you. Okay. So let's just say now content pillars, how long, what I would do now, my next step is to take one of these articles and I would order it from Surfer. Okay. So let me see if there's one I haven't done yet. So Content Hub is one I haven't done yet. So let me just kind of take a look at this. Content Hub, how to create a Content Hub. SEO content hub. Okay, so I'm not really sure which one I want to go with. Let me just back check this with SEMrush. I'm going to put in content hub and see what they're suggesting before I make a decision. Content hub, site core content hub. I don't know what that is. Okay, so content hubs, content hub examples is another good one. All right, I'm just going to give it content hub and see what it does with it. Okay, so I'm just going to uncheck these other keywords. I don't really need it to optimize for all of those. I'm just going to let it optimize for this content hub. I always choose one target keyword. The other keywords are going to be used, but I just want it, I want to optimize it for one. So I'm going to optimize for content hub, and then I'm going to click create for 1 CE credit. Okay. Now what this is going to do is it's going to use a piece of my monthly CE credit, and but then if I want the AI writer to write it, it gives me back that credit. So this is how I'm doing it. So I go to keyword research first, look at all my clusters, order all my clusters, let them go into the CE, use my CE credit, but then I go in and click NLP and I'll show you, AI, I'll show you. Okay, so now we go to content editor and you'll see it sitting, down here under content editor history. I'm going to do a quick refresh. Okay, there it is right here, Content Hub. So it'll open. Now you can start writing from here. And while you write, if you're not going to use the AI, while you write, it's going to help optimize. It's going to tell you, so this article, I said it'll write 3,000 words, but it's only calling for up to 2252. So that's what it'll probably write, some version of a couple thousand words. If it calls for 4,000 or calls for more, it'll write more. But it's basing this based on the other 10 top ranking articles that it went out and it's competing with. And then it'll put in the headings, it'll put in the paragraphs, it'll make all these suggestions of keywords you want to use. But I'm writing with AI. I'm letting the AI write the bones of it. And then I'm going back in after. So I would just click right here, write with Surfer AI. And then you can choose the tone of voice. I'm not going to get into all the details. I have another video that shows you exactly how to order all your content from them, but you can just leave this as it is and not mess with it. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just saying, okay, write it for me, but show me the outline. And then it shows me the outline. So at least I can look at the outline and go, oh yeah, we're on target. Yes, that's what I want this outline to be. Or I can add to the outline or change the outline. If you don't want to approve the outline, you can uncheck it and it'll go right to writing the article. Okay. So I'm going to say, yes, I would like it to see the outline and then create outline. So it's not instant. It doesn't get back to you that second, but it gets back to you. I haven't timed it yet, within the hour. It could be 10 minutes. I just haven't sat down and timed it because I do a bunch in a batch and then I'm coming back. And then once you approve the outline, then click write and it'll write the article. So you can get up, go do something else. As soon as the article's done, you come back. So let's take a look at what this looks like so I can show you how we're going to optimize the AI content. So I have some that are finished here. So let's see, here's an example. So let me get a different one because I need to be able to better show you. Let's look at this content planning one. Okay, so the target keyword I gave it, I have not looked at this yet. The target keyword I gave it was content planning. Doesn't matter where the title after that goes, that's the target keyword. So if somebody goes to Google and types in anything to do with content planning, I want them to find me. I chose that because it was part of that cluster. I wouldn't have even thought to probably write that blog, but it's part of that blogging cluster. One little add-on to that cluster, more proof. This is fascinating to me this morning. I started a cluster using Surfer SEO AI content, all these acronyms, and I'm doing one on YouTube. So I published my first, I think I'm like 5 or 6 cluster posts published on my Lori Ballen blog. And I'm doing it, that's all on YouTube. So how to find my YouTube channel ID, how to report a YouTube channel, how to build a YouTube channel, how to grow, all that kind of stuff. Well, today, one of my old blogs that's probably 2 years old, one of my old blog posts that's about YouTube, I'll show you, it popped up right here. I was over here looking at my analytics. This analytics is called Clicky. I'll put a description below. This is how I look really quick at what they're on right now on my website or what they were on today. And when I popped in here and started scrolling, what time was that? It was like 2 something. There it is. YouTube channel trailer video. I haven't gotten any traffic to that blog in the longest time. didn't do a ton on ranking. All of a sudden I look down and like 3 or 4 visits to that page in the last couple hours. So I feel like, I'm saying I feel like only because I haven't gone in and done any evidential proof, but it appears that me adding all those other YouTube subtopics to the cluster is boosting the traffic and the ranking on that YouTube page. That's how it's supposed to work. And the more we publish on one subtopic, the more likely we are to rank and to establish topical authority and be able to compete for the more competitive terms. So this topic cluster, if you look up any SEO, any of us that are doing this at any kind of a full-time level, you'll see that time and time again, this topic cluster evidence is appearing. Matt Diggity put out a video yesterday and he did a test. He's always running these case studies, and he did a test on which ranking factors matter, which ones didn't, and he ran like 5 different, I think it was 5 or maybe it was 8, maybe it was 8 of them, different factors, and topic clusters was one that proved to be a needle mover when it comes to ranking on the search engine. I'll try to remember to put that video in the link below if you want to check out that. He also talked about the fact that grammar and spelling wasn't that big of an issue. Linking out to external links is an issue, is a positive thing when you're ranking. Content length does matter, you know, some of those kind of things, just based on his own studies. So I'll try to remember to pop that in the description box below. All right, now let's go take a look at our SEO content from Surfer SEO. So let's talk about how do we optimize this AI content, right? So this was all done. I haven't touched it. I've not touched it. I've not even opened it. And look at on a 90 out of 100 on an optimization score of 0 to 100, we're sitting at a 90 without touching it. That's how good Surfer knows how to go out and pull in the competition and create content that at least hits these things: the right word count, the right number of headings. They don't even have to be exact, right? These are just some of the things that's giving us a ballpark of. Images, which it's got placeholders, and I'll show you how I handle that. And then hitting these NLP keywords, right? They're all over here. All right. So here's what I do. The first thing I do is I come in here and I look at the intro. Are you ready to take your content marketing to the next level? You've come to the right place. In this comprehensive guide, we'll walk you through the essentials of content planning, its benefits, and how to create a winning content strategy that drives results. Get ready to transform your marketing efforts and achieve your business goals with the power of effective content planning. This is where ChatGPT comes in. My experience is, what I understand Google is looking for is that we are establishing some sort of authority, that we are putting our own, like, I do this for a living, so this is what I believe. So I'm putting in some of those little things in there, like a little intro about me, content planning, and why I thought this article would be important. Don't know I haven't done a case study on one with it and one without, but this is what I'm doing to optimize blog posts. So I'm going to open ChatGPT. Now I've got a couple of ways I use ChatGPT. One of them is this sidebar right here, and I will put a link below. I don't have an affiliate with them, but I do have a referral code. So I don't know if it does anything for you or not. It's going to be this little invite. So you install the extension. So I'll put that in case you want to try this. Okay, so this allows me to run ChatGPT in a sidebar right along any window. I could be in WordPress. I could be on Facebook. I could be typing an email. Doesn't matter. I can run that. And I'm running ChatGPT with a web browser. So that means I'm able to go out and search the web. I'm able to command ChatGPT to go out and search the web and bring me in real-time information, rather than just that cutoff date of when it got all the data originally, the end of 2021. This will go out in real time. So I'm going to say something like this. Write an intro. I'm going to do it this way. Pretend you are Lori Ballen, digital marketing strategist. Your spelling doesn't have to be exactly right. It'll fix it. But I'm worried because you're watching now is why I want to fix it. Okay, digital marketing strategist. And write an intro on how I've been doing content planning for my blogging business since 1992. Here's why I feel like this how-to guide is important. As you can see, when we're prompting ChatGPT, it's conversational. There's no coding. We're not being exact. We're just talking to it like we would an assistant, okay? Then I'm going to hit enter. Now, it really doesn't need to go search the web. In my case, it already knows who Lori Ballen, digital marketing strategist, is because I've had a large digital footprint for years. So when it went out and brought all the data in to the language model, it already learned who Lori Ballen was. However, if I wanted to go find new information or you don't have a digital footprint, it will use this web access to go out and scour the web and try to find something on you. If you have no identity, you got to tell it who you are. If you don't really have a digital footprint, you can say, pretend you are Lori Ballen, digital marketing specialist who specializes in teaching people how to optimize their blogs to rank on the search engine. She's been in business 20 years. She's a certified blah, blah, blah. You can feed it to it. Okay, now watch what happens. Now I'm going to put enter. We're not going to say as Lori Ballen. But I'll say I. So as Lori Ballen, a digital marketing strategist, so I'm going to say I have been implementing content planning for my blogging business since 1992. Over the years, I have witnessed a significant impact of a well-structured content plan on the success of my business. I love that sentence. This how-to guide is crucial. That's important. That's a hook to get the reader to read. We're establishing expertise with Google because it will provide valuable insights and strategies for effective content planning, helping fellow bloggers and digital marketers enhance their online presence and achieve their business goals. I'm trying not to sneeze. By following this guide, you will learn the proven techniques and best practices that have been instrumental in my own blogging journey. Let's dive in. I'm going to use it. So all I'm going to do is copy this. And if you are using ChatGPT in the original format on OpenAI, that's fine. If you have another browser or tool, that's fine. If you're using Jasper and you want to click chat to open it, that's fine. I'm just showing you all how I do it in my everyday work now at this point. Okay, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to paste that maybe right underneath that paragraph. Okay, but I'm not going to say as Lori Ballen. I'm just going to say as a digital marketing strategist. I'm not going to say anything about my name on there. Okay, in my own blogging journey. And if I wanted to, I could just make that the first paragraph. I have not tested these case study wise to see if one works better. Now, the other thing I'm doing as I'm moving along here is anywhere I have these little red lines, that's grammar. So I'm checking my grammar. Now, I do have the Grammarly Chrome extension installed. You do you, however you want to check your spelling. That's how mine is installed. I have the Grammarly Premium that also checks for plagiarism, but Surfer SEO also checks for plagiarism. As a matter of fact, this is how it works. Over here, you click the three dots and you say run plagiarism checker. Let's just check our AI content really quick for any issues with plagiarism. Sometimes I will cross-check this since I have Grammarly. After I finish it, I'll run it through Grammarly really quick. Grammarly is a lot more sensitive. It'll pick up 7 words that could be used in any sentence, and it'll pick it up as plagiarism when it's not really direct plagiarism. Like if you say all the time, in the busy world we live in today, well, a lot of us have said something like that. It would pick it up as plagiarism. It doesn't mean it is. It just gives you that you should check in on that. Whereas Surfer SEO isn't like that. Okay, so that's just something to consider. So no plagiarism detected. Mark content is done. Good to go. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do here, and I'm going to put some spaces in here, and that's actually going to create more of these paragraphs. That's going to move that needle up there. It helps the reader, creates a little more white space. Okay, you got a little short summary here. Now here's where the images come in. So it put in placeholders for images and gave us a suggestion of what kind of image should go there. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can do it. I'm going to show you how I do it. So you could add from Pixabay, which is a free stock art, copyright free software. People discussing content strategy and creating content for content marketing. I'm just going to copy that. Go to add from Pixabay, and I might paste that whole suggestion in there and see if anything comes up. Not as much. How about we just try content strategy? Okay, there you go. You're getting a whole bunch of stuff. If you like this kind of stock art and you want to go with this, go ahead and do it. I'm finding now, after having done this for so long, that I prefer, if I'm going to, I prefer to find like an actual screenshot or something more helpful or a video. But if I'm going to just move through these quickly to begin with, and I'm going to use graphics, I like to use Canva. So what I do, and if you're using any other kind of AI art tools, the prompt is basically here for you. See how it gives you this people discussing content strategy and creating content. You can use that as a prompt if you want to. I'm going to paste. Oh, let me open my images. Sorry. Okay. So I just kind of use the same background for the whole blog. I might mix that background up a little different shade or find a different background, but let's just use it. So that was for my last blog. Okay. So if I wanted something maybe just a little less yellow, I'm going to go up here and type in yellow background. And I'm going to go to elements, yellow background, okay, and put in whatever you want. That's going to be kind of the theme of the blog. That's just how I do it. Maybe if there was one a little bit not quite as yellow. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go with that one. Okay, now I'm going to go up here to elements. I'm going to paste in what they gave me from Surfer. And guys, at some point, this is all going to do it for us. You just know it is. But for right now, this is what we're doing. But I am loving these types of images right now, especially for digital marketing blog. There's so many of them. So you can get these people in here. And I like the appeal. I like the look. I like how it feels. So I'm just going with it. That's what I'm doing right now, right? So you put that in there. However, then I'm going to click share, download. I'm going to save it as a JPEG, and I'm going to put in that same keyword phrase they gave me. Okay. Then go back to Surfer, wherever that placeholder is, and I'm going to click select from files. It's going to land right here, and I'm going to open that, and I'm going to pop that in there. Okay. Now, let me just move my bubble a little bit. There we go. Okay. So I would go down and do all those first. That would be my first thing that I would do. Trying to streamline the processes. I'm going to go through and add all my images first. So it doesn't take long, a few minutes. All my images are in there. Okay. I'm going to check the spelling as I go through. So it says here, including the perfect blog post that truly resonate with your audience. That's clearly a typo. Grammarly's checking it. I'm going to change that to resonates with your audience. And we need to say addresses. So as you can see, Surfer's not perfect. You're still going to have, just like if anybody was creating it, you're still going to have some typos or things that could be worded differently. So it's important to go through and check it, read it. Okay. So I'm going to do that. So the very first paragraph, the essence of content planning. So it kind of talks about, I like to open with like one good punchy sentence. Content planning is the lifeblood of any successful content marketing strategy. It involves formulating a plan for creating and disseminating content to achieve organizational objectives such as increasing brand awareness, facilitating local communication, and enhancing branding. That's great, right? Research, this is all Surfer writing this, research is integral to this process as it provides insights into your target demographic and helps you create content that resonates with them. The key elements of a content strategy include setting goals. Okay, so you're getting the idea, right? So this is the kind of, that's why I love that it's doing the baseline for me, because it's putting it together even more eloquently than I would even as a writer. And it's hitting all those key points, but I'm already thinking to myself, content planning is the lifeblood of any successful content marketing strategy. Really, that's kind of a claim without substance. It's a claim without anything backing it up, right? So what I tend to do now is go look for some sort of stat. And this is what Google likes to see. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to open ChatGPT. Yeah, I said it right. And I'm going to say, content planning is lifeblood. Okay, find a quote I can use that supports this claim. Paste it in there and let ChatGPT go look. Okay. So let's see what it's pulling in. Content planning is lifeblood of any successful content marketing strategy, as stated by Search Engine Journal After all, content is indisputably the very lifeblood upon which the web and social media are based. You could use that one. It still isn't giving me any numbers of substance. So I'm going to try something different. Give me a statistic that supports the importance of content planning. And let's see what it goes out there and finds. So you can see searching. Here we go. According to the Content Marketing Institute, 73% of B2B marketers and 70% of B2C marketers use content marketing as part of their overall strategy. This statistic highlights the widespread adoption of content marketing and the importance of having a well-planned, there's our content planning, content strategy to stand out in a crowd. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna click copy. And this will be original content. They're rephrasing, they're referencing, okay? So then I'm going to go right here. I'm going to paste this right in here. Now, if I don't want to leave that URL like that, I'm going to cut that out and I'm just going to highlight it right over Content Marketing Institute. And I'm going to put that link there, okay? And then I'll get rid of that little source button right there. That's just how I'm liking mine to look. You see that? If you want to put all your sources at the bottom, instead, you can put your sources at the bottom. This is more common. We usually see a hyperlink like that with anchor text. Okay. So there's a good example of an outbound. Now you can open that link. You can check the date of that link. You can see if it still looks like it's relevant. I recommend doing that. I always open the link and make sure it's the one I want to reference and use. But this is perfect. I'm writing a blog about content planning. Google would absolutely expect me to be linking to somebody like Search Engine Journal that's talking about content marketing. It makes sense. That's a website that has a lot of authority. Okay, so that's an example. Now, another thing I would do. So well-planned content strategy can help businesses create valuable, engaging content that resonates with their target audience. Okay, let's see. I wanted to see if it gave us an example of what that content plan. Yeah, I see it's not down there. Okay, so let me keep going here. So now I would go down to, so content planning also assists businesses in organizing and strategizing for reliable and cost-efficient sources of website traffic. Okay, I want to give an example of that. Anytime that I have a sentence that just says, it helps them, I want to know more about that. I want to give an example of that. How does it help them, right? So I'm going to put here, give me a scenario. And then I'm putting a colon and pasting in that little sentence. Now remember, this is ChatGPT. So we're using Surfer SEO and ChatGPT at the same time to create this. Okay, so content planning plays a crucial role in assisting businesses. That's our sentence. According to a study by Content Marketing Institute, another good one to reference, content marketing generates 3 times as many leads as traditional outbound marketing, but costs 62% less. That really, you know what I must have done? I must have pasted the wrong sentence in. I sure did. I pasted in, no. Content planning also assists businesses in organizing strategies for cost-efficient. Oh, it does mention cost efficiency. Additionally, a significant 69% of businesses plan to increase their content marketing budgets, growing recognition of leads. I love all these statistics, and I probably would use these. I don't think it exactly answered what I was looking for there. So I might just come back to this to paste in sporadically throughout the blog, taking one of those quotes at a time and putting them above different paragraphs, okay? But I was still looking for, okay, so I'm going to ask it this instead. How does content planning assist businesses in generating traffic and fresh leads? Let's just look at it like that and see what it gives us. Okay, now if content planning assists this increased visibility, I'm still not getting what I need. So sometimes what I'll do is I will now open AI ChatGPT, the full version. I'm not going to run the web, and I'm going to try it over here. Let's try GPT-4. How does content planning assist businesses in generating traffic? Now we're getting an answer. Okay, so here's how. With SEO, with search engine optimization, with high quality relevant content, with consistent posting, with targeting the right audience, leveraging different types of content types, right? Okay, so these are some of the ideas that I might go add if these aren't already covered in that article, okay? Or I also could do, give me a scenario of a blogger who used content planning to generate traffic and leads. Now, ChatGPT will also go out and find you a real example. So Surfer SEO gave me a blog and it gave me 3 case studies, case A, B, and C, but they were generic. So I took what it said about A and I went to ChatGPT and said, find me a real example of this. And it went out and found me a YouTube video or a case study or a press release or a white paper or a blog or an interview or something, and that I was able to go turn those case studies into real life examples. Okay. So here you go. Meet Maya. She's a fashion blogger who used to post sporadically about whatever topic caught her fancy at the moment, without any clear structure or schedule. While her posts were of good quality, she struggled with gaining consistent traffic and converting videos. Maya decided to take a strategic approach and began implementing content strategy. And then it talks about exactly what she did, okay? So let's say we like that. We're going to copy it. We're going to come back over to Surfer, and we're going to put this little example in here, okay? So those are some more ways that I optimize. Now here, again, we're going to have another image here. And so it says an image showing a person brainstorming. So I'm going to take that and content planning strategy. I want to put target audience in there. So it has all those keywords. I'm going to go over to Canva. I'm going to paste that in up top. And I'm going to find something similar. So there we go. That's a good one. I like the cartoony ones better. I want them all to kind of match. And I already started with the little cartoony one. So instead, I would look for something a little bit more, so person. So I'm going to get rid of person and let me see, brainstorming and creating. Ooh, I like that one. That's perfect. Definitely hits the spot. Target audience, got the graphic similarity I liked. So share, download, JPEG. And then you're just going to save it as that same keyword. I should be putting those in my image file. That's all right. Let's leave it there for now. Okay, so you're getting the idea. I wanted to show you that one more time. Then you have to select your files. You find your target. And now they're all those pictures going to be cohesive. Okay. Now, you also could put things. Okay, so here you go. Recognizing your target audience is critical for producing relevant and beneficial content that they'll be interested in reading. The more you understand your audience's needs, okay, but how, right? That's the question I'm constantly asking myself. But how? So let's say I'm a beginner, I'm reading this, identify your target audience. What does that even mean? Recognizing your target audience is crucial for, okay, but how? But what? Who, what, when, it doesn't tell me much. So I either need to link to another blog that I wrote all about creating a target audience, or that somebody else wrote that I like, that's all about creating your target audience, or put in a video that's all about creating your target audience, something like that, or put in steps. So maybe I come back over here to Canva and I'm going to say, give me the step-by-step process for identifying a target audience. So now it will give you some steps to put there, okay? And again, you can also just link out to another page of yours or another reputable source. So once I have that, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to come back over to Surfer and I'm going to paste it in there, okay? So then it says buyer personas are fictional representations of your ideal customers, which aid in the development of effective and valuable content plans for your content team by using content personas. But what is a buyer persona? That's got to go somewhere. That either has to, the only reason we don't want to elaborate on the how-tos in major details is because How to create a buyer persona is probably a 3,000, 4,000 word blog on its own. So what I would do normally, I'll show you what I'd really do at this point. I would stop and go look if I could rank for buyer persona. So I come over here. So I'm going to look at SEMrush first, buyer persona. Can I rank for that term? So I'm looking for me, I like to go to that 65 and under based on what I see on my website. Okay. Buyer persona is super, super, super competitive. So buyer persona examples is not. So maybe I want to go create a blog post optimized for buyer persona examples because I think I can rank for that, right? It sure looks like it. So first I'm going to check and make sure I don't already have a blog about that because I don't know if I do or not. And remember, you can only rank for it if Google believes your website has the rights to rank for it, which in most cases is topical authority and backlink profile. So if you're brand new, you might still not be able to rank for it. The other thing is I'm thinking buyer persona. What is my website about? It's all about marketing. Do I have enough of a topic cluster about buyer personas, the buyer journey, identifying your target audience? I'm going to need all of those probably to try to rank for it. If I think yes, then I go over here. I'm going to open in a new window and I'm going to go to content editor, open in a new window because I've already bought my credits. I'm going to come up here, right with AI, and I'm going to type in buyer persona. Okay, so difficulty range, it's up there, but it's, we said buyer persona examples. I like it. I'm going with it. Oh, let's look at something else. You also could come over here, open keyword research in a new tab, put in buyer persona, let it create your cluster. We're not going to look at it right now because that's going to take a little while, but it'll tell me what else I need to cover if I'm going to rank for that term. So I might look at that also before I go look at it, okay? And then the other thing also I usually tell people is before I make a decision on an article to write, I look at what the buyer intent is. So I go over to Google and I type in buyer persona examples. What I'm looking for is, are there a bunch of shopping items right up top? Is there a carousel of products people are going to buy because there's a direct commercial intent? Okay, I probably am not going to do well ranking for that. Is it all full of videos? Because if it's all full of videos and the searcher really just wants to watch, I say buyer intent, searcher intent. If the searcher really just wants to learn something and videos are what are being served up, I'm probably not going to rank for a written blog. But in this particular case, look what is ranking. 7 persona examples, 5 persona examples, examples of buyer personas, how to create a buyer persona. So the written blogs, the listicle style blogs, they are ranking. So this is within that search intent that my formatted article would match that search intent according to what Google's already ranking. Okay. I don't mean search intent, meaning is it a transactional search, a navigational search, a commercial search. I mean, it based on what Google's serving up, does the content I'm going to provide match the content already being provided, which it believes matches the searcher's intent of what they want to see, right? So it does. And so I would go ahead and order that buyer persona written with AI. This is what it looks like. Oh, there's our keyword. There's our topic cluster. So buyer, marketing plan, buyer journey, how to do market research, buyer persona example. So I would need to write both of those blogs, creating content, persona questions, customer journey map, marketing tactics, ideal customer profile. These would all be separate blogs. So if I feel like I can do that and I think I can rank for it, then I'm going to go ahead and order that content. So in this case, buyer persona examples, I like it. I'm going to go for it and I'm going to click create for 1 AI credit. And now it will go in here and create that for us. Okay. So we're going through here. Now, if I don't have it and I think it needs to be linked somewhere, I might come here and say, find me an authoritative website that covers, or authoritative website that covers buyer personas. Okay, Opt-in Monster provides a comprehensive guide on how to create concrete buyer personas, including templates. Okay, perfect. Write a call to action for my reader to visit that blog to learn more about creating buyer personas. So there you go. Now I'm going to paste that right under buyer personas. Okay, you see that? Now, when I copy this over to my blog, it gets rid of all that weird formatting. I don't even mess with that here. It just, when I move it over to WordPress, it gets rid of it. You could play with it here if you want to. But so now here, that is a live link. Look at this, how to create a buyer persona. So now if you want to open it though, is it old? Do you think it has authority? You can go explore that all you want. But this is just how I like to do it. I personally believe if we're saying you should create a buyer persona, that we need to either tell them how to create the buyer persona or link somewhere that tells them how to create the buyer persona, or we're not really being that helpful because we're saying words they don't know. We're saying words they don't understand. Another way to do it is, okay, buyer personas are fictional representations. I could say something like, give me a tip for creating a buyer persona. Let me see what it gives me. If it's another link, because it's following the pattern. To create a buyer persona, it's important to conduct research surveys. Yeah, we kind of already have that. Focus on roles, goals, challenges, and pain points. Yeah, that's not any more helpful. That's just adding more fluff to it. Okay, then the next one, performing a content audit, same thing. Content audit. Do I have a page on my website that already will take them to something about a content audit? I would go up here, loriballen.com. You guys, this is my exact process. And I'm going to type in content audit. I'm going to look, oh, I spelled it wrong. And my search doesn't quite, I need to probably upgrade my search plugin here because it doesn't cover typos and I want it to. So it goes to content audit, content optimization tools. Okay, I don't have anything on a content audit. I'd probably go back over here to Surfer again, go to keyword research, type in content audit, let that run, take a look at the cluster. I'm going to go back over to Surfer. I'm going to type in content audit. I'm looking to see, is it too competitive or is there a long tail version that I can cover to start? Content audit, 68. I would write that. 1.9. Ooh, good cost per click values. There could be some advertisers. I'm liking this one. Content audit. I'm going to do it. I go back over to Surfer. So we go back down here to content editor. I type in content audit. I like it. I'm going to let it write it. This is my exact process. Over again. Okay. Now, after I finish this, I may put in a table. A table looks like this. If I come over to ChatGPT, give me a 2-column table. In 1 column, list tasks related to content planning. And in the other column, list which role on a team would handle that task. I'm making something up right now, just as I'm thinking, so I can show you what this looks like. And then it creates this table for you. These are valuable. What's really cool now is that it can search the web. You can do something like the 4.0 ChatGPT right here. If we go to new and you go to 4.0, it now has plugins and you can enable it to browse the web without another Chrome extension now by doing this. Go down to your settings, click the 3 dots, click on settings, beta features, and turn on browse with Bing and turn on plugins. Then you can add other functionality to your ChatGPT and you can browse with Bing. But you have to use 4 and it does have its limits, so it times out. But I'm going to go to 4, 25 messages every 3 hours. And then I could say something like this. Give me a table with the best AI content generators for 2023. Put the AI content generator software on the left and what kind of, well, let's just do, and price range on the right. So now it'll go out, it'll surf the web, it'll browse the web, it'll pull in that data, and it'll put a list of those, and it'll put them on the price on the right-hand side. I have an example of one of those while that's doing its thing. and it's on my best AI content generators or tools. Let's see which one it is. And I'll show you right here. So Surfer wrote this blog for me, and then I went in and added, oh, was it not this one? That's content detection. Hold on, it was one underneath it. Content detector tools. Content generators. Well, I don't know where that table went. Let's see if ChatGPT is done with theirs. There we go. So Write Sonic is an AI generator, and here's its price plans. Premium Model Pro, $19. So it's putting in the ranges. It's putting in Jasper. It's putting in links if you want to leave those links in there for people to go look. So for example, it says Creator Plan, $49. Team Plan, $125. If you click on that little number, it'll open the pricing, and you can look at where that information came from. If that's not valid, because it's pulling it from who knows where, sometimes it's pulling it from another blog, you might want to go in and double check that on the pricing plan. And then you could feed, you could actually say, correction, Jasper should say 99 per month, Teams Plan dash 175. I'm just making something up. But then it'll go in and it'll redo the table, and it'll put the correct pricing on the right-hand side. So don't just assume that it's correct just because it's real-time browsing, because it might be pulling that info from an old blog that isn't accurate. So accuracy is another thing that Google's majorly looking for when it's looking at quality. Are you making claims that are unsubstantiated? They aren't backed up with sources or links. Are you putting in prices that are invalid? Are you putting in information about a person, place, or thing that isn't correct? That's going to be a big deal. I think we're going to see a lot of lawsuits. I think we're going to see a lot of problems with people producing incorrect information. Now, another thing I often like to do is something like this. Give me a short disclosure that this blog has prices that are estimated. You should check prices. Now it'll know what to do. Watch. The prices mentioned in this blog are estimates based on the information available at the time of writing. They may have changed since then. Therefore, it's highly recommended you check the current price. I'm adding those disclaimers. I think that's another thing that Google looks at with quality. We know that all these people used to have problems with all these marketing claims, and they got in trouble with the FTC because they were saying make $1 million overnight. And we had to put in disclosures. We have to put in affiliate disclosures, and that's going to come into play with this Google Eat, expertise. So wherever you want to put that disclaimer, you could put it. If you put in a pricing table, you might want to put that disclaimer right next to your pricing table, right? You could put it at the bottom. You could put it at the top. You could check your regulations and decide. Okay, so I'm going to go through every single section. So I'm not looking at this as Surfer is writing me a 3,000 word blog post and I think it's done. I'm going in and adding all the things that I believe are quality. Lists, tables, how-tos, videos, tutorials, sources, stats, links, examples. Every time I create one of these blogs, I'm taking that time. So you're going to probably spend an hour, but you didn't have to write the blog, right? That makes sense for me every day. You might spend 90 minutes. You might spend 2 hours if it's that lengthy of a blog. But I'm pretty fast because I know my tool. So I can go back and forth right here most of the time. Occasionally, I got to hop back over to ChatGPT and pull that up. But for the most part, I'm getting it all done here. All the links are below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Lori Ballen, and subscribe because I do a lot more like this one. Thanks to you guys so much for being here today. Appreciate you.